tackled by a not scary farm worker? I thought they weren't allowed to touch you. Yeah, I thought so too. So, I'm gonna explain to you how the fuck that went down. Anyways, first of all, welcome if it's your first time, and if you're coming back, thank you for coming back. Appreciate everybody. I appreciate since I've said some stuff about my subs, I think I got 6 in 2 days. Like, that's huge. Like, I know that's nothing to some people, but like, that's huge for me. Like, I really wish. I've looked it up. I don't know how to find out who my followers are, my subscribers are. I don't like the word follower. Subscribers are, so I can shout everybody out. Like, I want to. I really want to. If someone knows how, let me know in a comment or something, or like, I don't know. I've tried Reddit and all these places, but like, I want to shout people out. I do. Okay. So thank you guys. If people could still subscribe, I've been making a short and a video every day, and that's kind of like my goal. I'm not promising that I'm gonna always be able to, but I'm trying. Especially when I'm up early right now at this time, like, it's helpful. So, that's more words than I really wanted to say before I get into the story, but I just wanted to give credit and appreciation where it's due, and I appreciate all of you guys. And once again, shout out to the former juvenile delinquents, mainly the ones that are not here with us anymore, that we got to live for today like they would want us to. All right? So, this happened when I was in the 6th grade. Okay? 6th fucking grade. Alright? I had made one friend so far at my middle school. Had no friends. Like, when I went there, different city, everything, didn't know nobody. It wasn't, oh, we all went to elementary school and whatever together. Nah, like, I didn't know anybody. So I ended up making a friend who, this is my homie Robert, okay? And like, he's like, there's so many stories with him in it, that like, he was my, like, seriously, one of my first friends that I made. Like, literally, like, him and like one other person were like the two people I made friends with, like, in the beginning of the year that I had. I wasn't like sitting eating lunch by myself or anything ever, but as time went on, I branched out into more people and stuff. But these were people I connected with, like, within over nothing too. Not even through conversation. We just had classes together, and like, someone would be shooting a basketball, whatever. But my homie Robert, okay, his birthday is on Halloween. Okay, that's a perfect analogy for him. Okay, this fool is wild, man. Like, this fool is fucking. I have so many good stories with him, man. Like, he's actually in one of my stories that I told before about when I got suspended. I think I called it like learning a lesson the hard way. There's a bottle of Patron as the thing. It's down further on my thing, but his dad was the dad who came in and said, you're fucking dead, right? When we were getting suspended in middle school. So, anyways, his birthday is Halloween. So he asked me, like, hey, do you want to go to Not Scary Farm? Like, I'm going to go to Not Scary Farm with, like, my mom and, like, her boyfriend or something. And his mom, like, stayed, somewhere, like, his dad lived in Torrance and his mom stayed in Lawndale. So he was like asking me if I wanted to come and stuff, that like I didn't have to buy like they'd buy my ticket and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I remember this very clearly because when we got to his house, he went in his garage and he found a pair of fucking zip ties, and he was like, yo, come here, like, let me do this to you real quick. And of course, me being like a dumbass, I put my hands behind me, and this fool zip tied me. And I swear to God, I was zip tied the entire way on my way to and not to and from. Like, I spent the whole time on roller coasters, like, no, the whole way to Knott's Berry Farm. I had a pair of those around my wrist in back of me that I was like, he was like, he was fucking laughing his ass off, I remember that specifically. And then finally, like when we get to the parking lot of Knott's Berry Farm, he takes his knife out and he cuts it, and I'm like, thanks, dude. But like, like that ride is like from Torrance, it's like a 30-minute ride, So like, it's like now I would have tripped out because I don't like being confined like that and stuff. But this is sixth grade, so this is a lot, younger of a period of time. So it's literally just me, him, his mom, and his mom's boyfriend. So we go in, and this might have actually been one of my first times going to Knott's Scary Farm, honestly, because I've never been a big, like, I don't think I've ever been to, like, I've never been to a lot of big, like, there's a lot of people that like trip. Oh, you never been to Disneyland or like something, California Adventure? Like, it's just like, I thought Seaside Lagoon or going to the Rhodium was like, which the Rhodium is the swap meet. I thought that was going to a like amusement park or something. Like, it's just the way it was. So we're there, and like, we're going through, and I have other not scary farm stories too that like I kind of almost got it mixed up because I had like a funny one, but I'll save it for a whole story or a short or something because it's something I've already talked about. So we're like, we're going around, and basically like we kind of split up, and then we like say we're gonna meet back up later. So me and Robert go do our thing, and then his mom and her boyfriend go do their thing, which is cool. So it might have been his sister. I can't remember who the other person was, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So we're going through all the mazes. That's like my favorite part of Not Scary Farm. I love roller coasters too. Don't get me twisted. No pun intended. Don't get me twisted. Don't get me looped, and don't get me twisted. No, lame. All right, so like I like roller coasters and stuff, but like I like the mazes. I like going through the mazes, and I like turning the corner and there's somebody like waiting there for you or whatever. Like that was always the draw, like for us, because like me and like a key like handful of homies, we always went to, like, we made it a thing to go to Knott's every single Halloween and air time or whatever, and like we had a little routine down and everything. So like, but this was before all of that. This is before that. This is like, probably one of my first times. I can't remember being there at a time besides this. So me and my friend were going through all the mazes, and just my homie Robert, the way he is, like, he's just very rambunctious. That would probably be a good word to put it. I seen him actually a couple of years ago, like randomly as fuck. It was really, really it's so random, like you wouldn't believe it. So fucking random. But anyways, we're going through the mazes, and like there'd be a lot of times where like we would see like the person, and then they would come up to it, they would try to scare us, and then like my homie Robert would be like ha ha or something. Like we never touched him, we never spit or like threw a drink or like anything like to that degree at all whatsoever. Okay, like we like I know my boundaries of certain things, like like I just like I get it. So there would be a lot of times, a lot of times where like someone would be like on the other side of something, and we could see their shadow or whatever, so we're walking by, and like we're like pointing them out before they come and get us, and just like haha, like and so we did that through, like, we probably went through all the mazes, like, and it wasn't even anything of like trying to avoid roller coasters. We went on some roller coasters too, but like the mazes is like why I love going, and so we're like we're standing, and it's like we're getting ready to go, and we're standing, it's me and my homie Robert, and we're standing there, and he like we're at the spot where we were supposed to meet up with his mom when everybody was like done and we were gonna go, you know. So I'm standing there, and Robert's standing right next to me, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like literally out of no fucking where, I was just standing there. All of a sudden, I get fucking leveled like a football player, like harder than I've played football. I've played contact sports. I've never been hit this hard in my entire life, especially when I'm in 6th grade. You know, I was probably scrawny. I was probably like, you know, like nothing. And this guy just fucking ran at me so hard, and he just fucking tackled the shit out of me. And of course, Robert's laughing his ass off. I'm like on the ground, like he knocked the wind out of me. Like I remember, I was like, and then the person behind like the mask, like I have a suspicion that it's somebody that we fucking laughed at, that was like punky kids and like some people, because Knott's isn't exactly known for hiring the best people. I'm pretty sure you can have like felonies and like still like get hired to be one of those extras. Don't quote me on that. And even if you have like that's nothing against people. I have friends who have felonies that I love, you know, it's not anything like that at all. But I'm just saying, they don't exactly vet the people, I don't think, for the best. I've been threatened by a worker that told me that I was gonna like taste his 22 or something, that like followed me through the entire maze. Like, that's a whole different story though. But anyways, so this fool fucking just tackles me to the ground. Robert's laughing his ass off. A little like crowd has formed, and people are like, you know, and of course like the thing, whatever the fuck it was, like, you know, of course he couldn't have been one of the guys that run around and slide on their knees on the little knee pads that have the little shocks, ooh, or something. Like, this fool straight tackled me like as if we were running a football play, like playing tackle football with no pads at all. He probably was fine because he had like protection or whatever. I was just a 11-year-old kid, or however you are old you are in 6th grade. So like, I get the guy's like, I'm sorry, I was trying to go, I didn't see you, and like he like came up with this little like thing that, like, I don't know, I have my theory of what happened. It could be wrong. He could have not seen me. Maybe I was standing sideways, and then I like moved and went the other way, and I went from being very thin to like being like wide. I really don't know, but I basically, and like, this is how dumb I was at the time too. Like, if that happened to me now, I'd be like, yo, I'm coming not to Knott's every day for free and bringing whoever the fuck I want. Like, I would have been like, yo, do you want a lawsuit? Even though they probably would have took me to court until I couldn't go to court anymore. But still, I didn't get anything out of it. I feel like I could have at least squeezed like a seasonal pass, but I don't care about that shit anyway. So maybe that's probably why it wasn't even on my mind. But money, I'd have been down for some money. Like, that shit's not cool to be like I didn't antagonize that thing or whoever that was. Like, it definitely a man. It's definitely a large man. Like, it was not a female. That's for damn sure. So they like take me into this room, and I have to sign. Basically, it's like what I would come to know. I didn't know at the time, and of course they're not going to tell me. But it would be known as what's called a non-disclosure agreement, which means that I'm not allowed to talk about it. And I don't know how they did it. They probably took advantage of my age and whatever, but I ain't get shit out of it. It was literally like, don't say anything about this. Sign your name. Like, it was like that, like just that simple, you know. So like, I signed all the paperwork, whatever, and you know, like, we left, and it was I knew when I was going home, I'm like, well, that's a fucking story to have, you know, that like, it's gonna be hard to find someone to relate to that. But I just like, I still, it didn't stop me. I wasn't scared of Not Scary Farm. Like, me and my homies would go every year. Like, I'll tell you about a good time that when we were there, like on another video, whatever. But this one was just a specific time that I can still remember this. I can still remember exactly how I was like standing, and I can remember just being like my feet came off the ground. There was a moment where I was like in the air, like I was like suspended in the air. That's how hard this guy fucking lowered his shoulder and just tackled the shit out of me. And just like imagine like a karate like like a karate like like seriously, that's how it felt. It felt like I got hit by a fucking bus. Okay, so anyways, that was some fucked up shit that happened. That you can laugh at my misery and my expense as always. That's free of charge, you know, just like hitting that sub button. So anyways, have a nice Sunday. Appreciate you all, and you know, signing off.